Okay, so in this one, you're going to need the Burn and Dodge photo from the Photo Corrections folder. And this is looking through a window. It also is in the city of Rome. And really, it's just a picture of where the people are living. Okay, so it's some housing there in the city. So while there's nothing inherently wrong with it, probably could spice it up a little bit with something called the Burn and the Dodge tools. So about halfway down your toolbar, you're going to see these three tools. They're docked together. Remember, if you hold it down, they will you'll see the extra ones. So we're going to start with the Burn. And I want you to notice that number one, you have a brush size and a hardness size. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move the hardness up about 3/4. And I'm going to move, well, I'll leave the size where it is for right now because I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I might zoom in one more as a matter of fact. And you have here a range. You have shadows, midtones, and highlights, and you have exposure. So I'm just going to demonstrate on the side of this building real quick so that you can see. I'll go ahead and start with shadows, and if I do just one brush stroke, notice how it makes it darker. Now, where I held my mouse there a little bit longer, notice that it got extra dark, okay? And if I go to midtones and do the same thing, okay, so it's a little bit different. It got darker, but it's a little bit different shade of it. And then highlights is kind of a little bit lighter. So again, it's getting darker, but it's not quite the same. So you could set the exposure so that you apply more to it or less to it. It kind of depends on what it is you are trying to do. Okay, so let me use my history panel, and I'm going to undo those right now and just go back to open. And I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in and focus on this one building right here. Okay, so now that I'm zoomed in, I'm going to go ahead and reduce my brush size to use here. This also might be a good opportunity for you to use your graphics tablet and pen. You might find that you have a little bit more precision with the pen than you do by using the mouse itself. Okay. Oops, and I clicked on things and I didn't mean to. All right, so I've got a smaller brush, and again, when you get in close, you might have to adjust it a little bit. So I actually liked the way the highlights looked when I worked on this. So I'm just going to kind of brush, and I don't want to do it too heavy because once again, if I overlap too much, it is going to it's going to look like it. It's going to look like big globs of paint. Okay, so all I'm doing is using this tool to change. Whoopsie, there you can see it kind of darker there in the middle. So try not to do too much overlapping because you're going to see a definite difference if you do. Okay, that one's not good. I'll just kind of click there in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one as is. Okay. Now, if you switch over to the Dodge tool, you're going to notice that you have similar options up here. So I'm going to reduce my size of my brush a little bit, and I'm going to demonstrate first. I want you to notice that you still have shadows, midtones, and highlights, and I'm going to use this rooftop to demonstrate. Right now the exposure is set at 50, so this is shadows, okay? And notice with this tool, the shadows is actually, it's kind of brightening it a little bit, okay? So that's the Dodge. Whoops, let me go to midtones. And if I go here, okay, it's brightening it up a little bit again. And of course, highlights is even more so. Okay. And you have the exposure, which can increase it even more. So I'm going to go back in my history and undo those. And I'm going to choose, instead of this rooftop here, this particular house we kind of darkened. I want to go ahead and brighten up the others. I'm going to use my highlights, and if I zoom in, and you got to be careful again with this, because if you get too overlapping, you'll have the same results as if you were using the burn tool. Okay, so I'm going to do one with highlights. I'm going to choose one with midtones. Okay, and I'm just going to do them kind of in a row here. And then I'm going to do one with shadows. And I'm going to have to reduce the brush size here a little bit. I'm going to get this one instead. Okay, and this one's hardly making any noticeable difference. So maybe I increase the exposure a bit and try that again. There we go. Now I can see a little bit of a difference as I brush through it. So this is just another option for you to create a little bit of difference in your in the colors of your photographs. Let's say, for instance, that I want to change the color of this cement window. So if I use my magnetic lasso tool, I can pretty carefully make a selection along the edge. And so what's selected right now is inside, so I'm going to have to do select inverse so that it's actual the cement. And then I can come in here, and I'm not sure which one I'd rather do. I think I'd rather do dodge. And let's see, because I have a selection, I can make the size of my brush quite large, and I can come in here and just kind of scribble, because it's not going to do anything to any area that's not selected. Okay, so if I'm doing that over here, notice how that's making it brighter over here, making it look like it's got more sun coming in. And of course there is a shadow over here, so that's pretty evident in itself. Okay, so I can do that a little bit on the bottom, and I can create a little more brightness there. Okay. All right, so the next thing that I want you to do, I'm going to deselect. I want you to look at these tile rooftops, and I want you to decide what you're going to do to make them look better. Are you going to use the dodge tool to darken them? Are you going to use, sorry, the burn tool, or are you going to use the dodge tool to brighten them up? What looks best to you? I'm going to let you decide that. You're going to, you don't have to get every single rooftop because that's going to get quite tedious. But I want you to get, let's say, 5 rooftops. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 rooftops. You can do them differently. You can do them the same. And then when you are done with this, you are of course going to save this into your Photoshop folder, where you are going to change the first and last name, or change the period number to your period number, and last name to your last name. And I want it first as a Photoshop file so that you can go back and edit. And then I want it as, whoops, a JPEG, of course. And then you need to pick a photo from your scavenger hunt that you can do those same effects to.